Smart dust is not just some conspiracy. It is very real, and Wells Fargo has a patent that has been approved for the smart dust. Okay, biometric surveillance and payments is what this is listed under US 1135466B1. Tiny airborne MEMS devices, aka smart dust, swarm around you. They read your biometrics in real time, your heart rate, your body temperature, your voice, motion, even capturing images. Then they authenticate your payment. No phone, no card, just invisible dust in the air knowing it's you. They patent this microscopic sensor network, and the government knows about it. It's been out there, and it can also be consumed. I mean, any little tiny little speck you see here has GPS capabilities. So if you consume it and it's inside of you, they can essentially track you. Okay, you're talking about constant invisible monitoring, behavioral tracking, integration with 5G and 6G networks, smart cities that are breathing this in. As the warnings are being put out, when they send a wave through here, like a microwave, and people have got all these metals or smart dust in their body, it's going to react like aluminum foil in a microwave, and people are going to get fried. Okay, so the smart dust, originally a military concept, it's now being prepped for your wallet and who knows what else in real time. This is real deal. There's a patent. You won't even be able to see this, and it will be collecting data on you, around you. This is super dystopian. Other companies doing the same. A lot of backlash around Ford right now. All their new models are going to have biometric sensors within the vehicle. And as a guy showed earlier today in a video, if you get in it and you're stressed out, you're distressed, really angry, it will not start. And there's a problem with that because the guy said, what if I just got cut in half by my saw and I'm trying to get the vehicle started to get to the hospital, but the sensor won't let me because it sees I'm distressed? That's a huge red flag. And I'd be thinking twice about all this stuff, folks. But smart dust, very real. I'm going to leave a link here to the official patent. And things to think about where we're at.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while learnt his truth, and also to those filet that are scattered abroad. I'd like to say Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And the type of day lesson is smart dust, biometric, surveillance, payment, tracking. So I'd like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. So we're seeing now that we're one step closer to this global reset and one step closer to that what? The MOTB, which in fact is that grain of rice that shall go into your right hand or your forehead. So we're seeing now we're getting closer and closer to a what? A cashless society. Also this digital biometric system that they're constantly putting into place, and they get ready to merge all the technology into one. So we're seeing right here in the opening video or the opening report by Dabu77. This guy put out very good reports. You know, go on YouTube and look him up. And it says here, it says that Wells Fargo has launched biometric surveillance and payment tracking, you know, using your biometrics through smart dust. So we're seeing right now that we get more closer than ever. You know, this technology has been around. Smart dust, RFD microchips, also these Neuralinks. All these are going to merge into one. They call it what? Transhumanism, to make you a what? Internet of bodies. The mental Lord constantly been warning you about, starting with the what? The apostles, the elders, the bishops, and the prophets and the one with the likewise doctrine constantly been warning you about. We're very close to these times, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. So let's get a little bit of description, what he has in the description box. It says here, Wells Fargo patent smart dust for biometric surveillance and payment and payments. And so it give you a little, it tell you what smart dust is. It said tiny airborne means device, aka smart dust, that swarms around you. Said read your biometrics in real time. Said heart rate, body temp, voice, motion. Said even capture image. Said then authenticates your payment. So what did this sound like? Do it the MOTB? We already know that they're merging everything into one. We already they constantly tell you about you're gonna have a digital ID. You're gonna have a passport. Your license not gonna be enough because they're gonna merge everything into one. Also, they get ready to put it inside of you. You know what I'm saying? This is coming. We constantly warn this technology is here. We're not just talking out the side of our neck. You know what I'm saying? This is here. This is common knowledge now. Quick Google search, a quick AI overview, it would tell you this. So it's printed plenty of articles over here. So it would not be no excuse when the Lord let this devil, come down with great wrath. He knowing that his time is very short. So we already knowing what happened in the news with DJ Donald Trump over at the White House. We already know that was a false flag, a psyop, or whatever. We're not ignorant of Satan's device. This man is getting ready to roll on us. He's getting ready to reset everything. And one thing about who will he be targeting? It's the people of color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. And also, we knowing about this smart dog, they can spread in the air, like through chemtrails, the fog. You can inhale it. They can put it in your food. The water. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. A lot of these things, man. This red devil is something else. Shit. You can drink it. You can eat it. So it's there. So that's why we're gonna have to have the Lord on our side when this devil come in with great wrath. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it that we know that we're very close. This devil is getting ready to bring forth this agenda, his plan, which in fact is the NWO. You know what I'm saying? Total control. So all road leads to that grain of rice we constantly warning. And also this right here is a very tiny chip right here. This is a chip right here, so they can do without even trying to saying that they ain't got to really just put it in your hand or your forehead. You can inhale it, or they put it in food. So this devil got to be stopped. Let's get a little bit more. It said here. It said no phones, no cord. It said just invisible dust. So in the air, knowing it's you. So man, you see what it's saying. And also this thing got GPS capability, keeping up your, tracking, in surveillance. And also when you go into that word smart, it goes into surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting, and technology. That's what smart means. So we're seeing right now, we're coming into this system where they're going to want to track everyone, have you under surveillance, dealing with your biometric, your face recognition, your hand and palm recognition, your eye retina scan, and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Man, we're here, man. Let's see here. It said they patent microscopic sensors that float network together to collect your personal data and feed it to a base station for secure transactions. So we seeing right there, they want to, all of a sudden they want to make sure that this is you. And also they saying that, they're trying to combat illegal aliens or illegal migrants, but that's just a smoke screen that they're using. But all the time they'll get ready to come against the citizens of America. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact we know that this place is slowly becoming a police state. We're seeing it right with our own eye. They putting it in the movies. They putting it all in front of your face. This red devil cannot hide itself anymore. We're seeing right now that the gig is up. So we are one step closer to this global reset, a cashless society, and also to what the MOTB. We already know that the war drums are constantly beating. Any given day, all hell could break loose. Order out of chaos. A lot of things are constantly happening. See here, let's get a little bit more. So what happens when this tech escape the payment use calls? It said constant invisible monitoring. It said behavioral tracking. It's integration with 5G 6G network. So you already know that they put out I think it was an article they put out about 6G and said that they were going to be using implantable technology. So that's right here already. It says smart cities. It said breathing this in. So we're seeing right now they're gonna constantly be spraying you with these smart dust, and that smart dust goes into what nanotechnology. Also look up DARPA. This is a part of the military, so it's just all a part of the plan to make you a petrol slave. You will not be able to buy or sell. You will not be able to do a damn thing if you don't come under this system. So this devil right here is trying to get clever with this smart dust. You know what I'm saying? One way or the other. If you refuse to take the under the skin, they can say, oh, well, you just breathed. It's in your body already. But one thing about it, through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, about Shema Shai, it will not come near the elect. And one thing about it, we already know that the elect will not be in the fold. And one thing about it, all we must do is constantly trust and believe in Yahweh about Shema Shai. It says here, smart dust was originally a military concept. So now it's being prepped for your wallet. So we seeing right now, everything is getting ready. And also, this is wireless. You know what I'm saying? Also, this is going to be wireless. It's going to be digital, programmable, also implantable. You know what I'm saying? Under your skin. So we seeing where all these things are going. So we know that Wells Fargo has announced it or launched it. We already know that all these banks going to be in compliance probably possibly by the end of the year. So we already know what's happening in China. We already know that the blueprint is already rolled out. Also with those social credit score, and also we know what's happening in Sweden. A lot of things is constantly happening. It's time to wake up. This devil is getting ready to roll. We see it right now. He's imagining that vain thing. So now let's go get a quick precept before we go back to the video. So we're seeing now, man, we're very excited, man. Our salvation is very close at hand. The Lord is getting ready to return, man. We're very excited. So let's get this here. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1, it said, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall say, what I shall answer when I am reproved. Salakia. So we already know what a watchman do. Watchmen stand on his what? On his guard post, on his what? Watchtower, watching what the impending danger and seeing what the Lord is going to give him through what? Through the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, and we're going to put it out through what? A biblical perspective. Make it plain. Verse 2, it said, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain, so upon tables that he may run that readers it or understand it. We're gonna make it very plain. Verse 3 said, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So right now we're seeing that the vision, the prophecies, the signs of the time is for a future time. Right now, the time that we're living in right now is the appointed time. So now they're speaking loud and clear. The prophecies are lining up just like clockwork. The technology is here. The stage is set. All things are ready. And one thing about it, what we're constantly warning you about, left and right. Let's read in the NLT. It said, the vision is for a future time. Say, it describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. Say, if it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. So it's not prolonging anymore. We see that the Lord is constantly accelerating time. Time is constantly speeding up. The Lord is shortening the day for what the elect say, because this red devil, all this technology that he's using, the Lord got to come back. If not, we know that the Lord is going to return. The Lord is going to intervene on our behalf. You know what I'm saying? And cut the time short to get us the hell up out of this nightmare, because this devil will destroy everyone, including himself, trying to make you a walking device, the internet of bodies. You know what I'm saying? And do away with your smartphone. When you said no phone, who going to be? What's going to replace the phone? You are. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what this man is thinking, a vain, thing. He has what you call a God complex. So let's get this one here about this buying and selling. It's going to be very difficult during that time, of trouble. It's going to be, what I'm saying? Like I said, you will not be able to buy or sell without having this implantable technology under your skin. So we're seeing that they're going to merge smart dust, nanotechnology, Lucifer, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too deep. With the RFD microchip, also Neuralink, it's going to work hand in hand with this CBDC. You see how all these things are going? Everything is merging into one. The NWO, total control. So let's go here. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach chapter 27 and verse 2. Let's get this right quick. Let's highlight it right fast. And it says, as a nail sticketh fast between the jointings, the joints of the stones, so do sin stick close between buying and selling. So one thing about it, we already knowing that a nail, once it's fastened between two joints or between two stones, it's gonna be hard to get out. Just like buying and selling, So a lot of people, it's gonna be very difficult to them not to be a part of this system if the Lord is not dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people gonna feel like, hey man, this is it. That's the only thing they can think of is that, hey, if I don't be able to get my supplies or my food or be able to get my medication, you know what I'm saying? They say I won't be able to do any of these things if I don't take this technology under the skin. We put it like that. I hope I'm not confusing anyone, but basically it's going to be very difficult if you are not a part of this new system that they're putting into place that's going to be dealing with your biometrics. Also, we know that AI is getting ready to come into play. Also, robotics. A lot of things are happening. They already have the technologies here. So we already knowing that right now that the stage is set. All roads lead to what? The MOTB. So now, let's go back to the videos. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified. So let's go back in. Let's find this first video right quick. Let's go back to this one here. Let me find it right quick. Let's get this one here.
So now let's get into digital surveillance and the rise of AI governance. So you've got Musk, Altman, and plenty of others that are building AI surveillance tools that Trump will present as a solution to lawlessness. Now, AI-driven policing, predictive crime measures, and biometric tracking are going to expand under the guise of national security. And this, again, comes right back down to the Hegelian dialectic, the real agenda, problem, reaction, solution. So here's what I want you to think about. Again, this is where we have to put on our critical thinking hats, okay? Under Biden, what happened? The floodgates were opened at the border. Millions of illegal immigrants entered our country. They were unvetted. There was zero accountability. Nobody in the government seemed to be worried about getting them out of here. Nobody cared. We were giving money to everybody. It was insane. We still have no clue who is over here. Then you have terrorism threats skyrocketing, crimes increase. Think about all the things that were happening, right? I'm not going to get into all the specifics, but you guys can remember some of the stuff that was going on with animals being eaten, just crazy stuff, right? So then you had the border states being overwhelmed. Now, that is your thesis. It's your manufactured crisis. Now under Trump, that pendulum is going to swing hard the other way, right? So the same people who let those people in now are going to claim, you know what we need? A massive crackdown to protect national security. That's the antithesis. That's the reaction. And the solution they're going to roll out, you got it. If you guessed it, biometric tracking. AI-powered surveillance and digital ID. So this is going to be facial recognition at the borders. You've got the Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They're going to use predictive policing algorithms to track and monitor individuals. All immigrants, visitors, and eventually citizens are going to be required to have some kind of biometric verification for travel, work, financial transactions. And you guys, this is where it is. It's the synthesis. So that's the real goal. It's full spectrum surveillance. And people are supporting it right now. Why? Because we have a legit problem at the border. But again, if they create that problem and they know the end goal is always about surveillance for everybody, let's create that problem. Then you get the people pretty teed off about everything that's going on. They want a solution. Now we got it. We'll crack down on the borders, but we're going to use all this technology now in its place to make sure that everybody stays in lockstep and has their marching orders. And this is a formula that they always use to push any agenda that they're after. So I'll say it again. They're going to create the problem, mass illegal entry, rising crime caused by them, trigger the public reaction. We need a strong border. And we do. And then they're going to implement the pre-planned solution, which is a total surveillance state. And again, that plays right into the B system. And what people think is just about getting our borders back is actually going to expand into nationwide tracking for every single person in this country. And it's going to get scary because once that's implemented, that system is not going to be for illegal immigrants. It's going to be for you and me. Did I do that right? You and me. That's what it's going to be. So every system or every citizen will be under AI monitoring in the name of security.
It's a project first dreamed up by the military to get information from the battlefield.
They call it smart dust, and the new technology may soon make it possible to keep track of anything, anywhere, including you.
Smart dust originated with DARPA back in the 90s. This powder-sized chip is something called the Mu chip from Hitachi. It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust or embed it into a sheet of paper. It doesn't require a battery. Flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out.
The nanoparticles are designed to go under the radar of the immune system. And so they are undetected in the body.
We have computing everywhere, we have connectivity everywhere, we have infrastructure that can compute those with new capabilities like AI.
If you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible.
Transhumanism is a growing movement that aims to use technology to modify our bodies, sometimes in radical ways to make them stronger, faster, and better.
Told you today in 2025, these suckers have done figured out how to implant you without even having surgery. You ain't even gotta have surgery these days. They can install an implant. You know what it's called? Smart dust. Little bitty microscopic, smaller than sand, y'all. Guess how it's deployed? In the air, water. You can put it anywhere. You can spray it anywhere. It can land on you. You can breathe it in. You can eat it. Little bitty microscopic sensors. And once enough of them get in your body and own you, it turns on. Let me say that again. Once enough of it gets in you and on your body, it can interface with you and turn on. Make you think things that ain't really your thinking. So would you believe that in 2025 they done figured out a way to implant you? Gotta check it out. Smart dust.
So now let's go back to the scriptures right quick. We go straight to the point. Let's go here to Revelation chapter 13, and I have one more video to show, and we'll get out of here. So we see now we are here, we're more closer than ever, one step closer to this becoming reality, the hour of temptation, the hour of testing. Everyone on the planet is getting ready to be tried. This is getting ready to be a global event. So now let's go to Revelation chapter 13. We'll start up at verse 15. And it says here, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and call that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So right now, we already know that DJ Donald Trump, I think it was just 2 days ago, whereby they are reinstating the firing squad. Also, we know they already have the guillotines. Also, they're talking about electrocution, gas chambers, and also they have these incinerators. So we seeing how all these things are constantly lining up. It's how they do. It's going to combat crime. Anyone that do kill someone, do some type of brutal crime, they're going to take you, just do it very quickly. So we already know that this devil is getting ready to come with all these different harsh law, these unrighteous decrees. So we know that we're here. So we know he had power to give life to the MLB, the WHO, the WEF. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing right now these 1%ers, these global elites. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what they want to happen. They want that total control. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we already knowing what the beast is. You know what I'm saying? Going into this beast system, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about the revised Roman Empire. There's no new thing under the sun. The image is the system. You know what I'm saying? The NWO. You know what I'm saying? This total control, this digital biometric system. You know what I'm saying? They're constantly putting it into place. It's going to be dealing with your banking, your medical, your insurance, your identification, everything. everything about you. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be a part of the system, you know. So things are getting ready to change, and also we're seeing that now we are slowly, we're fastly coming into this reset. Then it says here, it says as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So a lot of some of us will be martyrs, but whatever end it may be, we know that we will get the victory. You know what I'm saying? The Lord has overcome, we also shall overcome. So we're not even afraid. We don't give a damn what he come with. Smart dust, the RFD microchip, whatever the hell he trying to come with is not going to work. He only have a short time, and his time is running out. Verse 16 says, and he causes all, both small, great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark to charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. So right here, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is going to be global. It said great, rich, poor, free, and bond. So pretty much it's going to be a global event. Everyone is going to be affected by this. Not only immigrants are talking about border crisis. You know, that's the little smoke screen they put up back in I think it's back in 23. They feel, you know, just letting everybody run across the border. All of a sudden now we got to do this. We got to see about the identification. We got to see who is our citizens or not. This is all smoke screen. This is all a part of the plan. Order out of chaos. Like the lady said, problem, reaction, solution. You know what I'm saying? Bring forth the problem and have the solution. That solution is total control to make you a petrol slave. So that charagma goes into that RFD microchip. You know what I'm saying? And that forehead goes into that neural link. You know what I'm saying? Metapon. You know what I'm saying? With the technology is already here. These lying wonders, man. We constantly warning you. These things are here. You would not be able to buy a damn thing. Food, water, medical supplies, electronics, or whatever, so forth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not want to wants to suffer. They're going to go down in Egypt and you will be totally destroyed. You know what I'm saying? If you take this mark, you would have to suffer the second death, which in fact is the lake of fire. And what is the lake of fire? America on fire with all those IBCM missiles going to set this place on fire. This place will never be inhabited again. We're very close to these times. Verse 18 says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 600, 66. So we already know that patent that they had on that Wells Fargo biometric surveillance patent, it has 666 on it. So we already know what this is going into. This, you know, it's a number of a man, a number of a system. It said, here's wisdom, who has the understanding. So starting with the prophet, also the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the proof man, what foreseeth the evil and hides himself. How we will hide ourselves in his wisdom, in his knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Also, we know that the Lord will be a stronghold in times of trouble. Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. And also that 666 goes in tri-style stigma. You know what I'm saying? That badge of servitude. You know what I'm saying? That branding, that etching. You know what I'm saying? Who you belong to. That digital oil, which in fact we already know that this is a idol. If you consent, or if you submit, you're going to be totally destroyed. The Lord said, do not take it. Trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So now let's go here to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go here. 2 Thessalonians. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. We're going straight to the point. Let's go here to let's go straight to the point. We'll start at verse 7. It said, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So we're seeing the mystery of iniquity is at work right now. All this lawlessness, all this wickedness, you know, it's at its highest right now. You know what I'm saying? Which in fact, you know, the mystery of iniquity is the revised Roman Empire. We're seeing it at work right now. But he who now letteth, who is he? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua will let until he be taken out of the way. So we're in that short season where this man is getting ready to be taken out of the way. He got bounds that he cannot pass. Verse 8 said, then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. It said, talking about the prophets. It said, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So one thing about it, when the Lord returned on that fathership in the valley of Jehoshaphat, or the valley of Jehoshaphat, you know, when the Lord returned You know what I'm saying? You know, he's gathering the nations right now. That's why the Lord said, wait on me until I rise against the prey. And also the Lord said, look to the east, to the brightness of my coming. So the Lord is coming. You know, he's getting ready to cast this man down. He's getting ready to get this man out of the way. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing that we're very close. He said, then shall that wicked be revealed. Who is that? The modern day so-called white man, not white, red, Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So the Lord's coming very soon. Our salvation is at the door. We say here, verse 9, so even him whose coming is after the workings of Satan with all powers and signs and lying wonders. And about who is coming after the working of Satan, who do the bidding of Satan. From the left-hand side, the physical counterpart, which in fact, once again, Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's coming with the lying wonders, with what? His technology, with his pseudo-sign, with what? His military. This man would get ready to come with everything, but guess what? He's getting ready to go down. You know what I'm saying? Let's read in the NLT. This man would come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit powers and signs and miracles. This man is a counterfeit. He's a fake. He's a deceiver. And he's already, you know what I'm saying, been exposed. And one thing about that, you know what I'm saying, no matter what he tried to do, it will not work. The Lord already said that this man is getting ready to go down. This man is getting ready to go into slavery. The Lord getting ready to cast this man into outer darkness. This man is getting ready to destroy this man after 1,000 years of slavery. We're here. Verse 10 said, with all deceivingness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So a lot of people, they're going to believe in this deception, these lies, this technology. They're going to get enticed, and you are going to be destroyed. Do not take it. We constantly warning you left and right, but we already know about the 2/3. You know what I'm saying? They're gullible. You know what I'm saying? They're not considering the signs of the time. Don't know who they are. Don't know who their true power, and also they don't know who their enemy is. We are here. It is at the door. Verse 11 said, and for this cause the Almighty shall send them strong delusions that they should believe a lie. So the Lord is going to choose your delusions. You know what I'm saying? Which way he wants you to go out, your ass is going out of here. You know what I'm saying? You believe that lie, the Lord gonna let you bet that. He gonna let you believe that lie. And you know what I'm saying? You gonna get caught up in this evil net, and you will be totally destroyed. We constantly warn you. The second death is that lake of fire. I don't want none of that smoke. Verse 12 says, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasures in unrighteousness. So we already know who that is. Those are those rebels. 2 part therein shall be cut off and die. So now let's get this one quick video about the MOTB. Let me see, can I get it right quick, and then we'll get up out of here. Let's get this one right quick.
According to promotional literature, it is an ingenious, safe, inexpensive, foolproof, and permanent method of identification using radio waves.
We started from the beginning. Salaki.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
So the chip, when they put it inside you, is going to be activated as your credit card. So long story short, now you could just, if they put it in your forehead or your wrist, now you could just slide your arm or slide your head, whatever they decide to put it in. And they're going to say, oh, there's all these good things about it. And this is where they manipulate / trick you / deceive you. They're going to say, you know why the chip is good? Because now no one can come up to you and just rob you and take your cash. You know why the chip is good? Because if you get kidnapped, I can find you and locate you with the chip. They're going to tell you all these great things. But here's the part that they don't tell you. If you do not comply with the government, and you do not do what the government says, all they got to do is simply turn that chip off. And now your credit card don't work, and now you can't even go to Carl's Jr. and get a cheeseburger. Now you can't even go get tacos or eat. And now, in order for that chip to be turned back on / activated, you got to be under control and the mercy of the government and what they tell you to do to be able to even shop for food or whatever else is that you want to get.
I went to go get food, and they don't accept any cash. They don't accept any cash. Yup. And people need to start waking up now, because we are about to enter a cashless society. a cashless society, to the point that you're no longer going to need cash to buy your groceries, to buy whatever you want, unless you have the chip in your hand, the mark of the beast.
What's this country going to do when money doesn't work anymore? Because money is almost over. Then that means there has to be another system of barter and trade. Chips are coming. Microchips are coming.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Experts say the chips might actually be more advantageous than key codes or access cards like the one I have, because this could be stolen. And in fact, 3 Square Market says it's already had inquiries from embassies, hospitals, and banks.
So I think it's clearly evident that the technology of preference today is radio frequency ID chip implants.
Of course, the burning question is, what about implants in people? Barbara Masson, the Director of Operations for Electronic Identification Devices, says there would be no technical problem in implanting the chips in humans. The Washington Times describes the process further. According to promotional literature, it is an ingenious, safe, inexpensive, foolproof, and permanent method of identification using radio waves. A tiny microchip the size of a grain of rice is simply placed under the skin.
This is the mark of the beast.
And I was told by one central banker who'd seen the CBDC, been shown it by one of the major old central banks. They were ready to roll it out in 2016, but they didn't. But he was shown it, and it was very small. It was a little, sort of like a grain of rice to be implanted subcutaneously under your skin. And they never talk about that. What is it going to look like, right? And I was quite shocked by the fact that the realization, wow, it's already ready. They can roll it out anytime. So I started to speak up in 2016 in my conference presentations and some written, articles and so on. And it seems that they then delayed because they realized there is a bit of a hurdle, particularly with the implant thing, because it is a violation of human dignity, no doubt.
And the thing about policymakers is that they don't let a crisis ever go to waste. And policymakers are first and foremost concerned about how to create more control over people, how to create an AI surveillance state. And if you talk about rationing, well, what comes naturally with rationing is basically digital currency and digital ID, right? Because think of communism, think of Marxism, think of a command economy where, because there's so little food, because there's food scarcity, there's fuel scarcity, well, we have to ration this, so we have to basically give you coupons. And we do that digitally through digital currency. And so think of more control, think of more financial repression, think of possibly economic collapse.
I mean, everything you're talking about is already coming to fruition, right? I mean, a $1.5 trillion wartime budget at the Pentagon under President Trump, the move towards digital currency, the House resolution that's now coming forward, we've covered it here on the show, about this new digital ID that would be required to sign into the internet, basically, as an age verification. They tell us it's about safety, but it's all about control. This is the control grid that's coming right before our eyes, and we're just like walking blindly right into it right now in the United States.
The whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip, and you have nothing. You can't buy food. You can't do anything. It's total control of the people.
And that chip's connected to a database that has your purchasing records, what you do, what
Everything.
you sell.
Everything is in there, you know? And so they want a one world government controlled by them, everybody being chipped, all your money in those chips, and they control the chips, and they control people, and you become a slave. You become a servant to these people. That's their goal. That's their intentions.
So now let's go back. Let's go back to the scripture. Let's go back here to Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Also, this video is about the brothers GMS twin lines. I think they're out of from not L.A. Out of I think it's around L.A. somewhere in L.A. California. Brothers from out of California. You know, they put this beautiful pistol out here. You know, and one thing about it, we're very more closer than ever. That's why we're seeing these data centers coming up all over the place. We're coming into that cashless society. We constantly want you. We'll not be able to buy or sell, you know, without having it in your right hand or your forehead. But the men of the Lord, the true believers, we're not going to take it. We're going to constantly what? Once again, trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, we coming upon this time. You got to be prayed up. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, you know, we know now we seeing that any given day, we know that they get ready to implement it. They get ready to roll this out. Cast it aside. We know that the dollar is getting ready to be obsolete. We're coming into this, what you call this reset. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing right now what went on in the White House about that damn psyop. You know what I'm saying? We're not ignorant of Satan's device, so a lot of things is coming. All this is getting ready to merge into one, getting ready to try to make you an internet body. That's why the men of the Lord, we are standing on our watch, and we're standing on fire for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So let's get this last precept, and we're going to get out of here. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10 said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So right here, it's saying right here, the Lord said he's going to keep thee from that hour of temptation. Or what? An hour of testing. You know, patience goes into what? Your suffering. You know, the same that endure, the same shall be saved, which in fact is the elect. You know what I'm saying? We know that we got to go through the fire, you know what I'm saying, through much tribulation. Ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven. But guess what? We're going to get the victory. The victory is ours, says the Lord. So let's get this in the NLT, and we're out of here. Because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world. And so it's going to be a global event. And once again, you know what I'm saying, lean not on your own understanding, but trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The Lord is going to direct our path. So once again, the title of the day lesson is Smart Dust, Biometrics, Surveillance Payment Tracking. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rekah Kodash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.